I will call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works. This is Tuesday, April 14th of 2020. And we are meeting here on Zoom and also broadcasting via other methods. First up, we have messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board?
I would just like to thank all of those who I think are heroes in the Board of Public Works or in Public Works, the men and women who have been there every day, tirelessly working to keep our city going.
And I'd like to welcome back Beth. I'm glad you're recovering.
Thank you. I am. Thank you. I feel great.
And I second both of those comments. So thanks, both of you. Next up is petitions and remonstrances. If we have anyone who is attending the meeting who wishes to make a public comment about something that is not on our agenda this evening, now is the opportunity to do so. Do we have any public comment not related to an item on the agenda?
I don't see anything on Facebook at this time.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you. Next up, we have the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda, we have the approval of minutes for March 31st of 2020. We have approval of payroll, and we have approval of renewal number 1 to contract with Brad Gilliland Excavating, Inc. for sidewalk removal and replacement project. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening?
None on our end.
Seeing none. Are there any questions about anything on the consent agenda from the board?
Just asking about the renewal of Brad Gilliland's sidewalk replacement project. Do I understand that it's a 50-50 project program, but it has not been decided who will be receiving the sidewalk removal and replacement?
Yes, Beth, so that's absolutely the case. This is our second year of the new sidewalk participation program that we're moving forward with. Brad Gilliland, we did a contract with him last year that we were satisfied with, and it had some renewal terms to be able to continue that into this year. We're right now in the process of reaching out to eligible homeowners that are on our paving list for the year, and then other eligible homeowners throughout the geographic areas that would make a homeowner eligible. So we're working through that right now, and we'll be moving additional contracts and agreements with those property owners over the next couple months.
Okay, thank you.
And I think that was kind of related to my question as well. I noticed in the original agreement, we had listed the specific geographical location of Howe and University. And so am I to assume that this renewal will actually extend to other geographic locations? Yeah,
and we noted in the staff report, so the geographic boundaries that any eligible household have to do with the community development block grant zones. And so we're going to open it up to that entire geographic area as well again this year. But we're going to prioritize those locations that are on the paving list so that we can get new sidewalks and curb ramps and things associated with the paving list as well. But yes, it'll be open to the larger geographic area as well.
Okay, thanks.
And then this depends on their ability to pay their 50% of this program.
Sure does. Yeah. You know, I'll just, as a matter of full disclosure here and a matter of making sure everybody recognizes, we did, you know, with this level of with this contract this year and stuff, we are going to reserve the ability to pivot if necessary. And by that, I mean, you know, if we realize after most of the summer and trying to get word out to the homeowners that are eligible that it doesn't look like we have a large enough pool of individuals interested to spend all of the budgeted money on the program, that we could maybe shift some of those dollars to just street department sidewalks, or even 100% sidewalk construction in the worst of the worst instances, as I call it, when we look at our rating system of sidewalks throughout the city. You know, if we're struggling to spend the budgeted money, we do have the ability to also move some other projects forward to complete additional sidewalk repair. But our goal is to spend all of it with the 50/50 program.
Okay, thank you.
All right, do we have any public comment on any of the items within the consent agenda?
I don't have any on Facebook at this time.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have new business. First is approve supplement number 1 for Beam, Longest and Neff LLC for construction inspection contract on 17th Street reconstruction project.
Good afternoon, Matt Smiley with Planning and Transportation. Last year, the board awarded a construction inspection contract to Beam, Longest and Neff due to unexpected project delays, which have extended the completion date of the project. BLN is requesting additional compensation to complete inspection services. The supplement to the contract would add approximately 648 hours of inspection at a cost of $88,500. Staff has reviewed the supplement and would recommend your approval.
All right, questions from the board on this item?
I was just wondering what those, like, if you could talk about those delays. They were utility related or what?
Yes, there were utility delays and then also delays because of the rock excavation that was unexpected, the large amount of rock excavation. So we had already awarded the contractor additional days to complete the project because of those delays.
And that adds a lot of hours to complete this.
Yes, it is.
648 hours sounds like a lot of hours to get this done.
Our
But
contract.
you're satisfied with that?
We don't have to use all those hours.
Okay.
We'll pay for what we use, but that's the estimate of what it will take to complete it.
Hey, Matt,
All
this
right.
is
Okay. Thank you.
This is Adam here, Matt. Would you say it's fair to
Yeah.
say, so at a 40-hour work week, that number of hours is about 16 weeks of work. So about 4 months worth of additional inspection services. This project we expected to have, we were hopeful, minus those delays, to have, wrapped it up last winter. So with some of the downtime over the winter and such, I think this would take us through the end of the project. Is that our hope and expectation?
Yes, our completion date is now June 14th, and there would be a little bit of time afterwards to complete the final construction record. But yes, this should take us through the rest of the way.
Great.
Okay.
A project that keeps on giving.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you.
And so now the revised anticipated completion date is June 30th. Is that correct?
I believe it's June 14th, a couple of weeks earlier.
Okay. Cool. All right. Any other questions on this item?
No.
Any public comment on this item?
There's one comment on Facebook from David, and he's just asking why this project has taken so long. But other than that, that's it.
So this is Adam here, and I'll just, Matt, feel free to supplement as needed, but we had several months worth of delay with utility relocations at the beginning of the project. We had weeks upon weeks of delay with the extra rock excavation that the geotechnical studies did not notice or did not find in those geotechnical studies. So that was the majority of it, was it not, Matt?
That's correct.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve supplement number 1 for Beam, Longest and Neff LLC for construction inspection contract on 17th Street reconstruction project.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Next up, we have approved construction inspection contract with Clark Dietz, Inc. for Kirkwood Maintenance Project.
Great. This is Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the city. I'm going to represent Roy Ayton throughout several of the agenda items tonight. Roy's on traveling, and if we need, he can jump on. But these are all projects that Public Works are very intimately involved with, and so we're more than able to present these. And if we do need any questions from Roy, but for the first one, this is with Clark Dietz Incorporated. And this would be construction inspection for the Kirkwood maintenance project that is getting underway. So as the board's aware, we're repaving and replacing the crosswalks on Kirkwood Avenue from Indiana to Walnut Street. E&B Paving was the awarded contractor for the project. This project is funded with both local city funds and with NDOT funds through the Community Crossings Grant Project program. And being such a large-scale project, outside construction inspection is necessary and warranted for this project. So Clark Dietz Inc. was the had put in a request, had put in their firm for this service, and were chosen from the on-call list with the engineering staff. And so this would be a not to exceed for construction inspection services of $64,500. And we request approval of this for tonight's meeting.
Adam, is there a time that they're going to work within a time period on this, or is it just open?
Yeah, it's
inspection?
So the project is currently scheduled for completion by early August. We expect there to be a major an acceleration of that. And so without over promising or anything here, we just expect it to be much sooner than that August 1st date, with being able to get the project started while there's very, very little traffic. Right now, just as a quick update, the Kirkwood project, we've got crosswalk at Indiana, crosswalks at Grant, and crosswalks at Washington that we're all working on right now. We'll be pouring back concrete in those very soon. We've got the bollards, the bollard infrastructure being in place. So the project's moving along nicely, and we're excited to be getting that moving quickly. And quite honestly, with the way things are, this is happening at the best possible time in terms of trying to get this project done with as little impact to the businesses. Hopefully this is all wrapped up and businesses are able to get back open this summer and really have a nice Kirkwood down there.
So is
Good.
Clark
Great.
Dietz
Good news.
there now reviewing or overseeing?
We've got a staff representative that's been assisting under the assumption that we had a contract coming tonight. E&B kicked it off about a week ago or so, and the representative from Clark Dietz has been on site a couple times just to kind of make sure he's observing with the bollard installations in particular. So, but yeah, we've got both Roy Ayton, Michael Large from the Public Works, Roy Ayton from the Planning and Transportation staff, Michael Large from our staff, inspectors with E&B and project managers with E&B, and then the gentleman with Clark Dietz, all working and answering questions on a daily basis. So it's been a really good team effort so far.
Good. That's good.
All right, any other questions on this item?
No.
Any public comment on this item?
I don't see anything on Facebook at this time.
Okay. Do we have a motion on this item?
I move approval of, go ahead, Dan.
Okay. I move approval of the construction inspection project with Clark Dietz Inc. for the Kirkwood maintenance project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have approved change order number 1 with E&B Paving Inc. for the Arlington and Bloomfield Road paving project.
All right, Adam Wason again on behalf of Roy Ayton with the Planning and Transportation Department. So again, we have a This is a change order with E&B Paving for the work that was awarded for the Bloomfield Road repaving project. This is near the Twin Lake Sports Complex and along Bloomfield Road / 2nd Street there, east of Patterson, or west of Patterson, I'm sorry. And so this change order is in regard to a 485-foot concrete paved side ditch that both the City of Bloomington Public Works Department and the City of Bloomington Utilities Department decided. So E&B proposed this to us as they got on site and said this would be a really nice upgrade to the ditch on the south side of 2nd Street, just west of Weimer. So if you're traveling, it's really right across the street from the ball fields there on at Twin Lakes. But it was a very old, dilapidated asphalt and weed-filled ditch, and E&B proposed this this project to really help the stormwater in the area to flow towards the Twin Lakes areas on the south side of 2nd Street or Bloomfield Road. And after proposing it with staff, both Public Works, Engineering, Staff and Planning and Transportation, and then CBU all thought it was a very worthwhile project to undertake, especially at this time when traffic volumes were so low. So Public Works and City of Bloomington Utility will split the cost of $83,850. Next agenda items about the MOU with that, but great project added to this already large infrastructure paving project. So excited to get this one included in the project.
Sounds like it was a necessary thing to do, Adam, and had you gone ahead with the paving and not done this, then you'd had to probably go back in a year or so and do that.
Yeah, it would have just
might have happened.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have, you know, the channeling of the stormwater just wouldn't be as fluid as, you know, we would have probably experienced similar degradation of the edge of the pavement over time.
Right.
And so this really, this puts the existing pipes underground, it covers them in concrete.
Okay.
They've been working on it the last few days. It looks great, and will be a really nice amenity there.
Good. Thank you.
And has the Utilities Board approved their side of the expense, or is that coming before them shortly?
That's coming for them at their very next meeting, and we've I know their director and team have brought their board up to speed with the value in the project.
Great. Any other questions on this item? Any public comment on this item?
None at this time.
Okay. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve change order number 1 with E&B Paving, Inc. for the Arlington and Bloomfield Road paving project to be a 50-50 split with CBU.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. And next up, we have related, approve MOU regarding paved side ditch for Arlington and Bloomfield Road paving project.
So in relation to what we just talked about, this would formalize the memorandum of understanding with the City of Bloomington Utilities Department and their Utility Service Board for the project that we just described and approved.
Any questions from the board on this item?
No.
Any public comment on this item?
No.
Do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve MOU regarding paved side ditch for Arlington and Bloomfield Road paving project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have approved change order number 1 with E&B Paving, Inc. for the Kirkwood Maintenance Project.
So this is, again, change order number 1 for Kirkwood project with E&B. This has to do with some design changes that were some design issues that were discovered as they were beginning the project, and how the bollard sleeves that would be underground for the Homeland Security approved bollards for special events, how those were going to be placed, and what I should probably just have Michael jump on here because he could probably describe it more eloquently. But basically, the way that the bollard sleeves were originally designed for installation would have left a area around the bollards that would have been susceptible for water leakage and possible cracking. And we obviously didn't want that to occur. So in working with the design engineers and EMB and city staff, this is a solution that will basically get them to pour the top of the 6-inch foundation with a colored concrete that would look nice and match with the new crosswalks that we'll be doing. And it will be bonded to lower the concrete by the rebar in the foundations. So we had an option to do one or both. And when we realized if we had just the regular colored concrete, it just wasn't going to look nice with the brick stamped concrete crosswalks. And so we went for the combined package and change order and the amount of $20,735, and do request your approval for this one. Michael, feel free to jump in if I butchered that at all.
No, by all means, you explained it very well.
All right. Any
How many,
questions? The board.
yeah. How many bollards does that involve?
It's somewhere around 100, Beth. So that's why there was pretty substantial cost with it. So we're going to do bollards at every intersection between Indiana and Walnut. So there's ultimate flexibility in how you can shut down Kirkwood for different special events and everything. And so, some intersections are as many as 16 to 20 bollards. Some, like at Indiana is only, I think, 5 bollards across. So, but yeah, around 100, I believe.
All right. Thank you. I had no idea.
It looks like there's 118 footings listed. So I'm guessing it's roughly that.
I'm going to go with 118.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's good. Thank you.
Other questions on this item? And just for a little context for any members of the public or others who are curious about this, as Adam was mentioning, this will dramatically improve our ability to use Kirkwood for festivals and street events without requiring temporary barricades. It'll make it safer and easier for the city to manage that during big events.
Yep.
And aesthetically, it's going to be nice too.
Yeah.
They will look nice. There'll be a nice safety yellow, but it'll be just I've been mentioning to many staff members in the administration and on the management team here at the city that I very much look forward to a rendition of what used to be known as Hoosier Fest once we get out of all of this and Kirkwood's redone and have a nice big party down at Kirkwood.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
I think so.
Yeah, it's great.
Do we have any public comment on this item?
I have one comment from Perry on Facebook, and it's just that is there a reason why this wasn't figured out before it was put out to bid?
That was part of when the construction firm got on board, and one of the things that we really wanted to focus on with this project is having the crosswalks look nice aesthetically in what is Kirkwood, one of our most iconic street in Bloomington. So we've always had those brick crosswalks, and we wanted to recreate something that would look nice and match up well with the current brick sidewalks. And so when those were designed, it was originally going to be just a regular concrete color, and the surface area where the concrete would meet up with the bollard sleeves. There was some gaps there, I believe, and that's where the construction firm identified that it may cause some issues in the future. And what I can say is, I think the reason it would be caught up front is this is the first time we've designed and engineered anything like this here. And I think it was just a slight oversight. And in the end, it's a worthwhile inclusion for the project.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Craig or Michael or Roy, anything you'd add there for that response?
I would just add that the full depth concrete is going to add longevity to the bollard installation so that you're not coming back and having to add that 6 inches of asphalt repeatedly as the bus traffic beats it down.
Yep, great.
All right, do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve change order number 1 with E&B Paving for the Kirkwood Maintenance Project at the cost of $20,735.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have approved change order number 1 with CE Solutions for Walnut Street garage repairs and waterproofing.
This is Ryan Daly, Public Works Garage Manager. As part of our 10-year capital improvement plan, we're repairing the Walnut Street Garage. This includes column repairs on level 6 down through the facility, repairs to waterproofing as recommended in our 2017 CE Solutions Repair Report. We've requested CE Solutions add the southeast stair tower exterior to their bidding scope. This was requested after the original design scope was proposed and submitted on 12/16 of 19. This includes a new roof for the roof, for the stair tower, concrete wall modifications, glass enclosure modifications, new landing steps, and a handrail to accommodate the entrance change. We've decided to add this scope of work to the overall 2020 Walnut Street Garage Repair Project scope. Instead of designing a separate work project this year to take advantage of the awarded contractor being on site and the cost savings due to mobilization and demob of the work area. Total cost for this project is $7,500. Excuse me, for the CE Solutions change order, $7,500. Staff is recommending approval.
Questions on this item from the board?
Ryan, you have, it says, excuse me, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I just was going to ask about the repairs. Are they specified, the repairs, or what scope is that? Is it just waterproofing and repair of the waterproofing, or what does the repair include?
The repairs to the facility are being done right now. The bids are being requested right now for the scope for this year. This is including the garage structure itself. This is epoxy injections and columns, flooring,
Okay.
Partial depth, and other items that are part of the garage structure, the ramps and columns that hold the structure up. And we wanted to add this particular piece in with the overall bid. That way, of course, they can, the contractors are already there. That'll save some money on mobilization for the project.
Okay, thank you.
And just for clarity, is CE Solutions handling the design component of this, or are they also handling the construction work?
They're doing both. They're handling the design work for the exterior and the architecture for that area, and also they're serving as the engineer for the project. That, in other words, they're assuring that the project is done correctly and making sure that the work is up to scope for what is needed throughout the entire project.
So Brian, they'll perform something similar like our road construction projects with construction inspection, engineering, construction.
That's correct.
Service. Yeah.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. When do they plan to complete this Walnut Street Garage project?
We're receiving bids. We just had the first contractors meeting today, and we'll be receiving bids next Friday, I believe, to be opened at the next Board of Public Works bid opening, and they're going to award that project. And we're looking to start that on 5/11 of this year and complete the project by July 31st of this year.
July 31st. Okay.
July 31st.
All right. Okay.
Go through the months in my head.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
And so this construction work has not begun.
No.
The construction work for the major overall project has not started yet. No.
So
it's currently out to bid, right, Ryan?
What's that?
That's currently out to bid, correct?
That's correct.
So would these new, so we've already put out to bid a construction project that includes those top 3 bullets, which are column repairs, repairs on level 6, and so on. But now we want to add the next bullets, and are we rebidding that with this?
No, that'll be added into the scope of the overall work.
Okay. Okay.
And then
this contract here. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a change order for just CE Solutions and their scope of work.
So for them to now design the scope for the roof replacement, et cetera, that's what this is.
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
And so is there a reason we didn't have that in the original scope? Like, did we make a decision not to include it in the original scope?
The original scope was just for concrete, for structural repair. When we were first putting the bid package together, this is a 3-phase repair work on that garage. The first part was done and completed this year, the stairwell itself. And then the second part is the concrete work in the garage. And we wanted to go ahead, and this was for the stairwell tower itself, we were going to do a separate bid package this summer, and then decided to wrap that up into the overall project, just for basically cost savings, hopefully.
Okay, great. Thank
you.
So
this was a project that was going to get done. We just decided to add it to the full scope of what we bid out.
But waterproofing wouldn't have been part of that original when you were replacing concrete or pouring concrete. Waterproofing wasn't in that at the time.
It is in that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board on this item?
No.
All right. Any public comment on this item?
None at this time.
All right. Do we have a motion on this item?
I'll move approval of the change order number 1 with CE Solutions for the Walnut Street Garage repairs and waterproofing project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have approved 2020 Morton Street Garage Elevator Service Contract with Cone Elevator.
Ryan Daly again, Board of Public Works, Parking Garages. The elevator service contract for the Morton Street Garage is set to expire in May of this year. We've contracted 5 elevator service contractors to provide quotes for elevator service at the Morton Street Garage. We did have 5 companies that we did: Schindler, ThyssenKrupp, Murphy Elevator, American Elevator, and Kone. We recommended using Kone for the service contract. Two of the bidders, ThyssenKrupp and Kone, both did the exact same amount. The only difference between the two contractors was that Kone provided 4 maintenance service visits to maintain the elevators. That was specifically written in their contract, whereas ThyssenKrupp did not specifically write out the number of maintenance service visits to their account. That was the only difference between the two bidders. The total contract cost for the elevator service contract is $5,400, and staff is recommending approval.
And that will be paid in one time in advance?
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Who have we used previously, or have we worked with Kone?
The garages have not, excuse me, have not worked with Kone before. We're currently using Otis Elevator.
And they didn't come in with a bid this time,
Go ahead, Ryan.
Otis?
Yeah, we did not ask them to bid.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
Do we know, like, did we check with ThyssenKrupp about the number of services they would have included in?
They included, yeah, they included in their contract, when I was reviewing both of the contracts, they included the phrasing, we will provide site services, but they did not specify the number of site visits that they would have. That was the only two differences between the contracts. One was more specific, and that's why I chose Kone over ThyssenKrupp, because they specifically gave the number of visits that they would have, that they would give us for inspection.
Could we have potentially gotten more from ThyssenKrupp? Like if they just said,
I spoke with ThyssenKrupp afterwards, and after their bidding had come out, he said that was just part of their contract language, and that's specifically why I told him, their rep, that they were not getting the bid because they didn't specify the number of visits. So
They had the opportunity to provide that if they wanted to have.
yeah, exactly.
Do you know anyone else that's worked with Kone, and are they any problems with their work?
I actually worked with Kone when I was up in Indianapolis, and they
all
always
right.
proved it. Yes.
Okay.
So, Beth, they're a large international firm with locations throughout the world. We're actually pretty excited to get a new vendor in for this service, and have seen, as I knew Ryan had worked with them up in Indy, and then had checked with a few other folks. They seem to be a top-notch service, elevator service and escalator service company.
Okay.
They work with the
All right,
airport
thank
too
you.
as well, Ryan. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
That was the one big one that I thought I'd seen.
Mhm. That is a big one. Okay.
So we do have a question that Andrew posted, and I'm assuming it says why we didn't ask the vendor to bid. I'm guessing that the person asking the question was inferring to the vendor we had previously servicing.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. This is Adam again. So we actually informed our previous contractor that we would not be renewing contracts with them at the Morton Street Garage going forward, and that we'd be seeking a new vendor.
Other questions from the board at this point?
No.
Any other questions or any other public comment?
None at this time.
All right. Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the 2020 Morton Street Garage Elevator Service Contract with Kone Elevator Service.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next up is staff reports and other business.
Again, Adam Wason here. So just some brief reports. Trying times. We all recognize that and are working through this the best we can. Been very proud of the staff in Public Works and other city departments and divisions and our reactions and how we're reacting to all this, what we're trying to do to get through. We're working a lot on critical operation plans and looking at level of service and just things as we continue to move through this. I'm real hopeful that the curve has flattened, that we are kind of on the rebound here, that we will start seeing some major improvement. We've had federal legislation come out in the last several weeks since April 1st, affording some additional benefits to employees for childcare or for high-risk employees. We've seen, Public Works has seen quite a few employees take advantage of that. So, we'll have some early construction season reductions in staff and reductions in productivity there, but, support all those employees that are just trying to do all the things that they can do to stay safe. And, this is uncharted territory, but we're working our way through it. We're trying to do some long range budgeting and forecasting and just looking at where funding sources are coming from, trying to stay on top of that the best we can. We've identified cost savings in our 2020 budget that we'll be, kind of holding back on and holding off on those expenditures the best we can, just not knowing exactly where things are headed with our overall financial stability. We've got many different funding sources that fund the Public Works Department, whether it's motor vehicle highway and local road and street funds for the street department, our sanitation rates, our general fund, fleet maintenance is an internal service department funded by all the other departments. So if we see other departments that have major budgetary hits, could impact the fleet budget. So, we're just trying to really, as they say, roll with the punches and just track this stuff the best we can and make good decisions wherever we can here. So just say it one more time, just very proud of the folks that we work with, very proud of the staff here at the City of Bloomington, very proud of our community, and just proud to be a Bloomingtonian. So I just wish everybody safety and health, and in particular, would like to just send a note of health and some prayers to Mayor Hamilton's wife, Dawn Johnson. We've seen those media reports and just wish her healing grace at this tough time, and our well wishes to Mayor Hamilton as well. So.
Thank you. Next up, we have approval of claims. Do we have any questions from the board on claims?
I don't.
Okay. Do we have a motion on claims?
I move approval of claims $596,299.41.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. If there's nothing else this evening, then I will call for adjournment.
Everybody take care. Thank you.
You too.
Thank
Good
you.
health, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.